Hey everyone, it's 𝙒𝙊𝙊𝙃 and welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be Who Are You Meant to Be? If you are new here, welcome or welcome back. I do pick a card readings and other spiritual based video topics. If you have subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me as well, you can find all my details in the description box below. And come follow me on Insta and TikTok. All that information is below as well. Great, so let's pretty much jump into this. So I'm going to have 4 piles here for you to choose from. If you're drawn to more than one pile, feel free to listen to them both. But just go with your gut and what number is drawing you in. So and thank you for everyone who's been booking in readings with me as well. I'm so grateful to be reading for all of you guys. Awesome. So let's jump into pile number 1. Who are you meant to be? Yeah, that's random. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. I was just saying that's random because that's weird. Okay, but this is so Spirit will channel messages to me and also songs. But I just heard that song. She's a super freak. So anyway, that might be something to someone. She's super freaky. Anyway, so random. Okay, pile number 1. Who are you meant to be? Maybe this is kind of like, I feel like this is the energy that's coming through for this group. Maybe you are kind of like super freaky, and I feel like a lot of people find you quite intimidating is kind of what I'm like. Exciting and intimidating is what I'm getting. People find you quite interesting and they want to get to know you more. And when they think about you, they get really excited. So, there's kind of like an independent energy coming through. Yeah, but it's kind of not like it's not very like, it's more playful sexual energy is what I'm getting from this group. I feel like you channel this energy in your connections is what I'm getting. I'm also hearing that you're meant to use, like, who you're meant to be is you're meant to use this sexual energy that you have to help to open people up more is what I'm getting. That's kind of really interesting, but let's have a look. Let's have a look at your... Okay, so I've written a channeled message for this group, and I don't know if you can see it, but it says, your views will always be different, don't try to blend in. So I feel like this group, like I said, with that super freaky song coming in, perhaps you do have different views around sexuality or how you want to live your life. And I feel like perhaps this is a challenge that you've faced, because that not trying to blend in is about you really standing in your authenticity and who you are and who you want to be in this life. And I feel like perhaps this is what you've struggled with in your life, is living a life of what society kind of wants you, like the societal norms or just in views and thinking. I feel like this is what has challenged you. But it's like, who are you meant to be is like, I feel you actually have, for some of you, because it's general reading, but either you're suppressed this, or some people are actually like living in their truth and living with their views and kind of like how they want to like live their life is what I'm getting. Okay, so we have the, I'm just going to put these cards out. So we have Buffalo, abundance, you're provided for in all ways. Okay, and that's interesting. Yeah, we have Scorpio, past life resources. So relating, Virgo and service. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Justice card, and the Emperor. Let's see if we can see this. So who are you meant to be? I feel who you're meant to be in this life, especially with like, there's this whole thing about your views, and that I feel that it's very different from what other people think. And who you are meant to be is you're meant to, either it's like having your views as an advocate for others who perhaps are like don't want to speak up and they're kind of afraid to share their views. I feel like who you're meant to be is you're meant to stand up for your own beliefs, and in this you're helping other people to then stand up for what they believe in. It's kind of like when they see you doing this, that's kind of how you'll help other people to open up more to who they truly are. So I feel like in this group there's a lot of thing here to about who you're meant to be. Is I feel if you like, there's a lot of things here around abundance and money, like you have everything that you need. And I feel like this kind of like, if you are struggling and not really struggling with like abundance, or there's something here, or there's, like I said, I feel like perhaps you're in this conflict of you're wanting to live your life differently. You have a different view about things. And I feel like this is only the abundance and the resources, and kind of like they're saying you have everything you need. And it's kind of like when you stand in this, when you are living in your truth, and when you're actually living like I said, in this belief, these different beliefs and views that you have, this is kind of when they're saying like the money will come, the abundance will come, more of your happiness will come. And I feel like this is your challenge in life. So who you are meant to be is, yeah, like I just kind of like I said, who you're meant to be is someone who has different ideas, different views, and they don't blend in. I feel because I feel like if you blend in, then there's gonna be some type of unhappiness, or it's kind of like you feel like something's missing, and that's because you're wanting to live your life in a different way, is what I'm getting. I also feel with this group, even though like you came in kind of like with this, you have this fun energy to you, is what I'm getting, like that playful sexual energy that was like coming through. But you also have like a huge heart too, and who you're meant to be. Like I feel like you are meant to be helping people, and even if you're not, you're like, it's just even indirectly helping people, because like I said, I feel like once you stand up for your beliefs and you're living your life the way you want to, it's kind of like you're helping other people to open up, is what I'm getting. Let's see what else. Who are you meant to be? We're flying. Like a lot of Scorpio energy. There's like, and like I said, in Virgo energy here coming through. I think there's this whole thing with you being a perfectionist and you trying to, but then you have like, like this emotional, compassionate side to you, and then you have this other side to you that's quite like, maybe you like to be in control, so you kind of, I feel, perhaps you fight between the two of like wanting to be emotional, expressive and feeling things, and then your sexuality, and then there's this whole thing about what are people going to think about me? What if I kind of go too far? Wanting to control and wanting to, yeah, I feel like maybe this is like the two energies, and like I said, this kind of, I'm feeling like this conflict that you have between the two is what I'm getting. Yeah, there's a lot of things here around your abundance, because like Spirit is telling me that it's only, again, like once you stand in this power that you do have, that's kind of when I feel that you're going to start creating the abundance that you want in your life. And even the abundance in a sense too of like your happiness. There's also a thing like who are you meant to be? Like I am getting like something around in service to help other people as well is what I'm getting. Even like I said, you could be indirectly doing this, but there's something here where there's like, some people can't speak up for themselves, and I feel like you are the one who is meant to be speaking up for, speaking up for people or helping them in some way in your work. What else? I hear the Emperor twice. Who are you meant to be? I'm just getting who are you meant to be, like, and then we have the Two of Wands. Who you're meant to. It's like I just feel there's this there in your life. There's going to be this conflict of you're wanting, you have a view, and there's this thing here where you are perhaps afraid to stand into it because of what other people will think of you. But like I said, this is kind of when the happiness and the abundance comes, because you're walking away from. Random, I'm getting side note that perhaps a lot of people could have like shoot you in the past. It's kind of coming through, but I feel that this is kind of like what will happen when but this is like when you stand in your power, this is kind of like when things will start to change. And also with the people that have kind of like done you wrong in the past, I see that this is kind of also what you're speaking up about as well. And this is kind of like the lessons that you've learned and that you're sharing them with other people. And this is what has given you the different like mindset as well. So with the Emperor here twice, I feel like it's coming through, like the Emperor to me is someone who has very strong opinions, someone who is not kind of willing to budge perhaps. So this kind of coming through is kind of like you and your views and being a leader and not caring what other people think, and that's who you're meant to be. You're meant to live your life the way you want to live your life, and it's going to challenge you because you're going to have either a lot of people, and you know, like of course a lot of people, I mean, the reality is not everyone is going to agree with our views or like us, and that's like the reality of life. But it's kind of like, do you want to be authentic and true and live your life the way you want to and not give a like F of what other people think? So this is kind of like, to me, what the Emperor represents is that someone who's living their life the way they want to with their views, and they're not going to blend in with everyone else just for like the sake of being liked or fitting in, because I feel like this is not going to really, you'll always feel like something is missing, and then and again I feel like this is when like the abundance is going to come through for you. Okay, let's just get some last messages for who you're meant to be. Okay, we have stay in your energy, which is pretty much like staying in your vibe, staying in your beliefs, staying in what you want to, how you want to live your life, not blending in. It's the same like thing, not blending in with anyone else's energy. We have opening psychic clarity, not being afraid, which is kind of what we were talking about. We do have this as unresolved from another lifetime. So I was getting, because you did get the past life here with the Scorpio card. So this is probably one of like, this could have been in a past life where perhaps you self-sacrificed your life in terms of how you had to live it, or it could have been a time where you couldn't live your life the way you wanted to. And I feel like this past life thing is definitely coming through. And we do have deep evaluation of what you want, which is pretty much like who you meant to be. It's like, who am I, and how do I want to live my life is what I'm getting. Okay, random. We do have soulmate, and okay, these are like, because I have like mixed up channeled messages, but this is obviously everything. There's no coincidences. So you do have, this is someone you know, and soulmate. So that could be like a side note message for someone. Spirit is telling me this is like a side note for someone, that the soulmate and someone you know, it's kind of like when you stand in your authenticity, I feel like this is how you can connect with your soulmate. But it is saying that this is for someone, this is general reading, but this is saying that someone you know. So I feel like this is like for a few of you that's saying like, you already know who your soulmate is, and the more you stand in your power and the more you live your views, I feel like this is also helping you in terms of like your love life is what I'm getting. Great, and that's all I have for group 1. I hope you found this reading interesting. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up. It really helps my content. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Hey Pal2, welcome to your reading. So today we're going to be asking the question, who are you meant to be? Great, so let's tune into your energy of this group. I am getting, when I was shuffling and the channeled message that I got, I am getting like an independent, really strong energy from this group. I feel like you're a leader and you're very direct in your approach to life. You know what you want. You don't fuck, like, you're just trying to swear. You don't F around. I'm hearing pioneer, innovate, like you're very innovative as well. It's just very direct. It's kind of getting like Mars energy, very fiery, very passionate, and you know what you want, and it's kind of like nothing will stand in your way. So who you're meant to be, I kind of feel like this group knows who I kind of feel like you know who you're meant to be. Even like, I feel, there's kind of like this leadership quality coming through. You could be like an entrepreneur, you don't have to be, but there's kind of something where I feel, oh, well, I guess who you're meant to be, like, if you didn't know, I am definitely getting you're meant to be like an entrepreneur or somewhere, or even like in your career, you're meant to be, like even if you're like a manager or CEO, it's kind of like you're meant to be leading other people because you have this energy. You're very good at inspiring people. People really look up to you as well, is what I'm getting. Okay, and your channeled message that I got from Spirit says, I wrote, fierce strength, your darkness is the climb to success. So I feel with this group that that's why you know what you want. I feel like you've gone through a lot of battles in your life. I'm hearing something about scars, battle wounds, like internally. And also there's a lot of things that you don't tell people about you, that you hide, you kind of keep to yourself. So even if some things haven't happened, it's kind of like there's something around like internal like wounds or internal stuff that you go through. You could really have struggled a lot in your life around, kind of around, like anxiety or depression, or kind of like these things that, I'm getting like these silent kind of but no, it's kind of like this silent war that you had within yourself, and perhaps you didn't really share this with a lot of people. It's kind of, you like to keep it private because you feel that, yeah, I feel like you're quite a private person. You don't like to share this with a lot of people is what I'm getting, because yeah, I feel like you're just quite private. There's quite like a big, I feel like you do have kind of like a big wall up as well, is what I'm getting. But I just feel like this is just how you flow. You don't really trust a lot of people too, is what I'm getting. That's cool. Because I shuffle these, because I don't like to look at the cards, because I like to channel and then like see how the cards I match up. Yeah, authority. Oh my god, you know what is best for you. It's totally like the vibe that I was getting. Yeah, but there's like this whole thing around, you're really private. You don't like to share what you've been through, and perhaps you kind of always put on like a front as well. But this is, yeah, and I feel like people perhaps like look at you and they would be like, yeah, because you are really strong and you do have this characteristic of being like a strong, independent leader. But it's kind of like no one would know, like behind closed doors, or what really goes on in your internal world is what I'm getting. And like this, like the channeled message, because of what you've been through, and your internal struggles, this is what has made you, given you the strength, given you the fierceness and the darkness and everything that you have been through. And it's kind of like you had, I feel like maybe you didn't have like a lot of people to talk to about this, and you had to dig deep to find your inner strength, to find, yeah, and I feel like perhaps some of you perhaps still struggle with this, because it's kind of like in the world, what you exude is like the energy of, you know, you are a leader and you know what you want, but there's also like the flip side of you too, of like your internal world, and sometimes I feel like that you do struggle sometimes, but then you know how to get yourself out of the dark. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of like it's like a continuation of like your energy. But I'm being told too, like this is what you go through with your energy, because I'm hearing there's something where you actually take on a lot of people's stuff. So Spirit is saying to be mindful. You could be taking on energy perhaps in your work or something, even just like with family or friends. There's something where you're kind of like taking on, I feel like you're taking on people's energy. So the message that is coming through is like, do you have a practice in place where you are continuously clearing your energy? Because I'm feeling like sometimes you're transmuting other people's darkness too. But also I'm hearing that there's something about people are mirroring and bringing up stuff within you, and sometimes these can be triggers. So if you, when you meet someone or something, they kind of bring up some old triggers for you to heal too, is what I'm getting. But this is kind of like your journey and healing, and I mean, like, we all have, like, everyone has, no one's like perfect, and everyone has their own struggles and everything that we, you know, go through. But it's kind of like I'm just getting like, you know how you've been through this and you kind of know how to get yourself out of it. But Spirit is just saying that sometimes you're taking on a lot of people's energy, and you could transmute this quickly if you are clearing yourself. So yeah, so whether this is through whatever feels right for you, but like, you know, like Palo Santo or something like this, you can like light this, like clearing your room, clearing yourself, especially if you're doing any type of like healing work. But you would, you know, most of you probably know that, but maybe you're forgetting, I'm hearing, like maybe some of you forgetting to do that. So this you would just like light, and then, you know, or like sage you could do, or like a cleansing spray. I'm feeling this is quite, Yeah, because I feel like you take on, there's kind of like this whole thing where I feel like because you're quite familiar with the darkness, that you're something in your work you're doing, you're actually taking on a lot of other people's darkness. Like, so when I say darkness, it's kind of like it's like an energy. But I feel like maybe you've done this in a past life. That you could have been like, I feel like maybe this group's quite an old soul. You could have been like a shaman or something in a past life, where you would take on people's energy and then like clear it. So yeah, anyway, I'm just going on, but Spirit's making that very like clear that yeah, you really need to be clearing yourself. Okay, let's have a look at these cards. Okay, we have soul, spiritual guide, soul teaching, intuition, soul path recognition, 5, enjoy change, service. Yeah, I feel like this group, who you're meant to be, is in some type of service to help people. And like, especially with that intuition card, you could be like have like a lot of water in your chart. You don't have to, like Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. I feel like your intuition, I feel like this group's quite psychic too, especially because I feel like you had some type of, like you were a healer in a past life. And there's this whole thing too about I'm hearing you're actually really hard on yourself as well. There's this whole thing too with this group about, yeah, you always strive, because you're a leader and that's who you're meant to be, but it's kind of like you're always hard on yourself and you strive to be the best at everything that you do, but you don't, Spirit is saying you don't really recognize how far you've come and you don't need to be so hard, because I feel like you're always wanting to keep going and keep like pushing, but it's kind of like nothing will ever make you happy is what I'm getting. I'm also sensing that, especially with this 5, so 5 is a number for change. I'm also sensing that perhaps this group is thinking about changing. You're wanting to make a change in your career. You're wanting to make a change, something like you're on your path. You're wanting to redirect into something you've been thinking about is what I'm getting. Yeah, like your intuition. Something has been guiding you to do something, but perhaps you're too afraid. Yeah, I feel like maybe this group, it's kind of like a mixed energy. I feel like you like to try new things, but because you've had so many surprises or things that have happened in your life before, and this kind of brings you that uncertainty, perhaps you do like to stay in control, but I feel like something is guiding you to make a change. It's like, I'm hearing like embrace the change. Don't be afraid of the new. I'm definitely getting really, like, especially with the number 6, I'm getting like really strong psychic ability with this group. But it's kind of like also this whole thing about you are helping other people, but I'm also hearing, in order for kind of like this happiness, that sometimes you feel like what is missing is about you actually just nurturing. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands here, and you have here. There's something. This is the 8 of Pentacles, and you have what is this? The 10 of Pentacles. There's a whole thing here. I am getting who you meant to be. There's this really strong thing coming through with your career is what I'm getting. I definitely feel like this group is, I feel like you are really thinking about changing. I'm really getting this strongly. And who you're meant to be is, I'm hearing like just because you've invested, like life will always change and move and flow. So I'm kind of feeling like, especially if you have this water energy and this like emotional sense to you, your intuition is maybe leading you to something new is what I'm getting. There's a whole thing around like your work and who you're meant to be. definitely getting, I'm just hearing like there's something that you're passionate about, whatever you're passionate about doing, because you're thinking about changing into something new, because it's going to be different for everyone. So I'm just sensing that there's something that you're wanting to do, and I feel like it's going to bring you, it is actually going to bring you good in terms of like financial. I feel like it is going to bring you money as well. I feel this is something too, like being something like an entrepreneur, going out on your own and trying something different, or branching out into something that is a part of what you're doing, but you're wanting to kind of like, I feel like this group is coming through really strongly. You have an idea. There's something you've been thinking about, and this is confirmation. So who you're meant to be is someone who, like I said, you know who you are. You know who you're meant to be, but there's something just coming through that it's who you're meant to be is someone who is okay with change, someone who is not, I feel if there's this thing coming through that I feel if you are stagnant and if you're not moving, you're going to feel that, you know how you feel that dense energy? And sometimes you get kind of like you feel a bit down, or you kind of like don't, like your energy's like off. This is because you're not listening to your intuition when it's telling you to try something new or go in a different direction, because of like fear is what I'm getting. Definitely entrepreneur, and definitely meant to, for some of you, like helping people. But even if you're not helping them, like, you know, in your work, I feel like you're just who you are. You carry and exude energy. Like this group feels like very old soul, and like it's getting like shamanic vibes, like a healer or something. You have a natural healing quality, definitely. Here, the Page of Cups is definitely something that you're thinking about, or something that's going to be offered to you, or Spirit is giving you a new idea is what I'm getting. But I am being told, like, sometimes, yeah, you could have like air in your chart as well, like Gemini, Libra. Interesting. I'm just getting, you have been thinking about something. It just keeps coming through, and even in the cards, that it's going to bring you happiness. So they're just saying, like, don't be afraid of change, because I feel like if you follow your intuition and what you want to do, even if it means, like, starting again, like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And then we do have the Two of Cups here. So also, I am getting, like, a message for some people. There is, like, a thing here around, like, love, too. And perhaps this could come through in the change. Like I said, there's something that I feel like perhaps this is just a message for some people, that there is like someone in your energy field, but you're afraid again too of, like, I feel like you could have feelings for this person, but you're afraid of what this could lead to. I don't know. There's this thing, like, because when I was getting like the 5 and the change, it was like career, but it was also in like your love life. Like there's something that you're thinking about as well that you also know will kind of give you happiness, is what I'm getting. There's a whole thing that Spirit is telling me you're going to be getting, if you haven't already, but I feel like you've already been getting signs and dreams and kind of visions. There's a lot of things coming through to you through your intuition, and I feel this is like a part of who you're meant to be, because I feel like, yeah, and this whole thing about change, like you're not meant to do something just for once, and yeah, to be kind of like in this more like adaptable energy, but there is for some people coming through, definitely, okay, definitely someone here around, like there's kind of like a love interest, or you're feeling something for someone, but I feel like this could be like a past life connection too. Okay, Queen of Wands and River. I also feel that there's kind of still, I'm feeling inside you, things that you maybe are suppressed, and there's kind of like, yeah, like a thing about not wanting to this fear, like maybe not wanting to make a change because you're thinking about what other people will think of you, and will they still, because I feel like maybe how you are is like an authoritative, like we have authority, like you are a leader in your community or whatever you're doing, or people look up to you, and you're kind of like, what if I make this change, or what if I change, if, love life or my career, what if I make this change in my life? And you kind of have this thing about like what people are going to think about you, when really you should just be thinking about yourself, because if you kind of go along in a path that's not kind of going to give you the happiness, and you'll always feel this emptiness. But it's kind of like if you follow your intuition, and like there's a lot of things like coming, you're getting a lot of like channel downloads through your crown with this, like I'm getting like a lot of things coming through like your crown chakra, and these are ideas from spirit. These are kind of, they're like letting you know this is what is going to lead you to like your happiness here with the Sun card. Great. And okay, well, I'll quickly pick channeled messages, but I think we've covered a lot with this group. Oh yeah, we have meeting a soulmate. I was definitely feeling that. This is just, and this is general reading, but for someone, and especially with the Two of Cups here, I definitely feel for some people there was something around changing about love. Like, I feel like you have met your soulmate. Best friend. It's always someone you really, I feel like you're like friends too with this person. Okay, you will be studying or learning. So I'm definitely feeling like I said, there was like going to be a change or a shift, or you are thinking, like I said, that idea or something where you're wanting to change. You're either studying now or learning a new skill is what I'm getting, or you're thinking about it, and like spirit, like I said, you're getting these downloads and spirit's been telling you to do this thing. And especially that change, I'm just getting, I'm actually feeling really excited for this group. Like, do it. I'm more in touch with your emotions. So like, I feel like what I was saying is, okay, I can't remember what I was saying, but like, I guess more in touch with your emotions is like, not, like I said, not kind of caring about what other people are thinking, and following your own intuition. There was like a lot of water energy coming through, like I said, and maybe you do struggle with like your emotions as well, because you like to be in control, and perhaps for some people with this like change in like meeting someone, they could have stirred something within you is what I'm getting, and you're kind of like don't like feeling these things because you like to feel in control. Great. That's all I have for group 2. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up. It really helps my content. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Hey Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to be asking the question, who are you meant to be? Alright, so let's tune into this energy of this group. Okay, I am hearing there's something about you, who you're meant to be is standing out, but I did hear like I'm alone, like when a thing's going to change. That's kind of what I just heard. I feel like a lot of people, like you stand out in a crowd and a lot of people look up to you, but I feel like this road so I feel like there's a whole sense of like loneliness that kind of comes through with this group, that kind of like the black sheep, or you've kind of felt maybe in the past or even now, sometimes you feel there could be a thing around I just feel you're really different, and you're really unique, and it comes through sometimes where the more you've stood in your power, and the more like who you're meant to be is you're meant to be someone who's different. You're not meant to be like everyone else, and that's kind of what I was sensing. That's kind of like that message that I was getting, like you feel alone. So even if you are with someone, I'm still sensing that there's this thing where you feel perhaps like you don't belong, or you feel alone in the world, or when you grew up, you could have not really like gelled with other people. You didn't really find like your tribe or your friend group, or even when you're with friends. I don't know, there's a sense of maybe like a disconnect, because who you're meant to be is you're very, very different. It's kind of almost, yeah, like I feel like this group maybe does think too, like, yeah, like you feel like maybe you don't belong on earth. So you could relate to, you know, if like a starseed, or it's something where it's kind of like, or an indigo, if you believe in that, it's kind of like the person that rebels, or the person that kind of like has different views as everyone else. And this is kind of what you came to this life to be, and this is who you're meant to be. You're not meant to be like everyone else. And in this, I'm going to say has caused loneliness. So this is the channeled message that I got for this group. Stardom, you shine your ass off, baby. That is who you're meant to be. But it's kind of like your stardom and shining your light and being yourself will only come through when you have, when you don't blend in with everyone else, when you are your true, authentic self. But I am sensing that it has been a lonely road for you, is what I'm getting. Okay, with the squirrel, get ready for big changes. Okay, we do have inspiring leader, independence, self-worth, which is kind of what I was picking up with too, because I kind of felt like you perhaps, I mean, even now or in the past when you were growing up, it was this thing where you didn't fit in, and then it kind of made you doubt who you were, and then you didn't really want to show your true, authentic self. So you kind of maybe shied away, or you wanted to hide away because this is like easier. Maybe when you were yourself, people had criticized you or said something about you. So it's kind of like this is the journey of like, even maybe in relationships, or you could have had attracted a lot of codependent relationships, or just relationships where people were well, not really. I feel like, you know, it's not really anyone's fault, but it's kind of like whatever we're going through sometimes is like a mirror, and we attract these people to us, but that's just to help you to see like you deserved better. And I feel like kind of like this is what you have learned about yourself. There's this whole thing around self-confidence and knowing that you are worthy, and knowing that whatever you say, or whoever you're meant to, you know, whoever you are in this life, being your true self is of value, and you don't have to change who you are, is what I'm getting. And it's cool that we do have recognition and creativity. I'm definitely sensing that, yeah, express your individuality confidently. Enjoy the recognition of center stage. It's so cool. Yeah, Leo energy. You're meant to be in the spotlight. It's kind of cool because I don't look at the cards because I like to kind of see how they link up. But when I channeled this, and it was like this group, who you're meant to be is you're meant to be seen in whatever form that is. You're meant to stand out in a crowd. You're meant to be in the spotlight, especially like with this card, express your individuality, having courage and strength. And I feel like that's kind of like the lessons and things that you've been through in your life, is that because you had experiences where people didn't they didn't agree, or they didn't see eye to eye with your views, or they didn't like it when you you could have people in your life, or or in the past, that didn't like you to shine. They wanted to either hide you away, or it's kind of something where this is who you're meant to be, or it's like your innermost feelings inside you is like, you want to stand out of a crowd, you want to be seen, you want to share your message, especially this independence and aspiring leader. Like I was saying, like I had inner courage and strength again, courage of convictions, overcoming fear of new beginnings. This is who you're meant to be. You're meant to take risks. You're meant to go again, like rebel against societal views. You're meant to share your opinions with the world. And does that mean on whatever scale? Like, it doesn't have to be on, like this huge scale. It's just actually, this is who I am, and standing out, because I feel this group has a real bright, like your energy. Okay, what I'm sensing around like this group is like your aura, your energetic field is very, very bright, and a lot of people like are drawn to you. A lot of people could drain you as well because you have such a bright light. But I feel, we're all in different stages, but I feel that with this group, perhaps you dim, or in the past you have dimmed your light because you didn't want to be seen, or people said shit to you, or people didn't agree, and then it's kind of like your challenge in life is like, not everyone is going to like you, right? But you'll find your passion and your creativity, and you'll feel like in your fucking mojo is when you are like, standing in your truth, speaking your truth is what I'm getting. There's a lot of things here around throat chakra. Perhaps you felt like you couldn't, I feel like maybe this group has, because I'm kind of finding it a little bit like difficult to speak, so I feel that perhaps you struggle with maybe communication, or even in relationships, or just in general, like, maybe you feel uncomfortable around being in intimate, or connections, or having like, or even in friend groups, because of what has happened to you before, because I feel like you can be quite closed off. You could, but there is like a lot of like, you could have like a lot of fire, like definitely Leo in your chart. I'm kind of not for everyone, but could be, I'm definitely sensing this. And you could have like an air is what I'm getting to with this group. A lot of like air in this group as well, because I'm sensing that you have this side to you where I do, for some people, like if you are doing this in your work and you're standing up for people, or you're speaking your truth, I feel like you are in the limelight, perhaps a lot of you, or this is what you are meant to be doing, because this is reading like who you're meant to be. So there could be like a lot of air in your chart because of like how with this communication, when you tap into this more, because this air energy is about communication, really linked to excuse me, like your throat chakra as mine goes like weird. I'm definitely sensing that who you're meant to be is a leader. You're not meant to blend in, you're meant to stand out in a crowd for sure. And you have to have this air energy to you, because also I was getting, like you had this thing where who you're meant to be is like, you might struggle between being closed off because you just want to like speak your truth and speak your mind, but you could be quite closed off in regards to trying. Sometimes I feel you struggle with connections and being emotional because you've been hurt in the past, and I'm feeling like with this group it's quite hard for you to open, like you might have problems around just opening up to you, and just in regards and being like around my heart. Okay, and we do have the Queen of Cups as we're talking about emotions. Oh, look, we do have the Sun card, the best card, and you have the Three of Wands. I feel like who you're meant to be too, it's kind of like you're always looking to what's next. Where do I want to go? You're real innovative, real passionate. I feel like you get a lot of ideas. You really might like to travel or something. I'm feeling like who you're meant to be to is like travel, adventure, I don't know, I'm getting like culture, food, wine. Like this is your vibe. I'm hearing like architecture for some people, random. Something with, yeah, like art, poetry. You're really creative. This is coming through real strong. And again, the sun energy. You're very good at a lot. You have a lot of skills, and so whatever you're meant to do, I feel like you would have a lot of skills that you do. You don't just have one, you have many. And I am getting a thing too where you could be something around like astrologically, you could be quite interested in this, or you do have like a skill for reading charts, or you're very linked to the planets. This is coming through from a past life. And with this Queen of Cups here, it's kind of like you're meant to lead with passion and heart. And this is kind of that whole thing where I said about the struggle between like being closed off, speaking your mind. But I feel like this thing that who you're meant to be is to be nurturing and open. And I feel like this is one of your lessons too, because like I was saying, you have been hurt in the past, but you're coming through with this Queen of Cups energy. And I mean, like the Queen of Cups too is someone who is okay in their emotions, is loving, giving, nurturing, romantic. Like this is what is coming through for this group. I feel like this group too, I feel like a lot of people, because you're in the limelight, or you're meant to be in the limelight, kind of coming through, like a lot of people are very attracted to you as well. Like I said, with your energy coming through, I feel like you've had to walk away from a lot of things in your life that didn't serve you, but the more you do, the more you kind of like blow up, and this is what gives you more recognition. And like opening your heart, like this is, like I said, this is like your lesson. Because I feel like it's real tricky for you to be in that energy of openness in your heart, because you've been so hurt before. Oh my God, look what flew out. It's so awesome. This is who you're meant to be. You're meant to have this openness, this warmness, and this is like how you'll emanate this energy and how you'll glow even more. But you don't even need to try. So Spirit is just saying to keep working on your heart chakra and like connecting to it, opening your heart and knowing that you are safe. I feel like when you do kind of open your heart up more, this is like when miracles, I'm being told, will happen for you. Oh, with the Queen of Pentacles, you're like, this group's like the shit. Whatever you're meant to be doing too, and who you're meant to be, you're meant to have a lot of money. Business, your own business. Yes, I knew the Two of Cups was going to come out. Oh my God, and then the sun flew out again. That's really cool. Look, you've got the sun, you got the sun twice. I knew the Two of Cups, and with the Seven of Pentacles. You're meant to be creating your own life. I'm definitely getting who you're meant to be is working for yourself. Managing your own finances, you're independent, and this has all come from kind of like when you had to walk away from all this shit. You have the sun twice. Like, you're just fucking shining. You're meant to shine. You're meant to be seen. And this is also what will give you happiness. And also she has like her heart open. There's a lot of like openness here. And like especially this Queen of Cups twice. And then you have the Two of Cups. So I am being told the more you open your heart up, for some people I am feeling there is like love around you. And you're being guided to keep opening your heart. So this is for the single people. But in general, it's coming through me. The Two of Cups is about, you know, two things coming together. So this could be a blend of your own energies. And like I was saying, the communication and the heart opening. But also for some, I am hearing Spirit is saying, the more you open your heart, the more that this connection will blossom. There's something around like a connection that's coming through for some people where yeah, they're just saying to keep working on your heart chakra and don't like close off to things, even though you're scared, is what I'm getting, that everything is going to work out in your favor. Yeah, I'm definitely getting from this group who you're meant to be is working for yourself and in charge of your finances and in control. Like, I do feel like who you're meant to be is someone very abundant, especially this Queen of Pentacles in this life. You're meant to, and this is when you are fully not hiding, like not hiding from the world and who you're meant to be. Okay, so let's see. These are like random ones, so I'm just gonna. Okay, randomly we got a special occasion is on the horizon. I don't know, that could be potentially for the love situation, but anyway, general reading, definitely getting, but there's something important that's going to be happening. We do have spiritual ascension as well for this group, and sacral. So your sacral is connected to your creativity, which is interesting because I am sensing that who you're meant to, like you have, like I said, you had a real creative energy that was coming through. We do have returning. That could have been something to do for like the love thing. That could have been, or something being reignited, or even your passions for your work, or something coming. There's something that's going to be reignited. This is colleague. Random. Okay, we do have coming in hot. We do have no hair, bald, or light hair. I know if this thing's random, this is going to mean something for someone. I always know. And we do have, oh yeah, so this no hair, bald, or light hair could be the person that you're thinking of, or the person that's returning. Anyway, these are just random messages coming in hot. I am really sensing there's just like this whole thing around like heart chakra coming through. We do have the goddess wants to connect with you more, but you're definitely going through some type of elevation is what I'm getting. We do have karmic, and we do have short hair. Interesting. I feel like the karmic thing is what you have been transmuting and changing in your life, and that's why you're elevating, because you've gone through like a lot of stuff is what I'm feeling. Great, and that's all I have for group 3. I hope you found this reading interesting. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Hey Pile 4, and welcome to a reading. So let's have a look. Okay, so your channeled message that you got was, so this is a message that I channeled, which says, teacher, healer, old soul, your transformation is helping others elevate. I'm definitely getting, I am getting like, for some people, I am getting definite witch vibes. Huge, powerful energy coming through for this group. You're very advanced. Obviously, you're an old soul. I feel like who you're meant to be is you are. Like, this transformation is like, whatever you're doing, you're meant to change. There's something about changing energetic frequencies. You're changing, you are, it sounds really cliche, but you are actually helping to change a lot of like the energy around the world, in terms of like, I feel like this is who you're meant to be. I don't know if you know that you're doing this, or it's like a subconscious thing, but you're actually transmuting a lot of energy is what I'm getting. I feel like this group does work. Like, you're not afraid of the darkness. I feel like you've either some of the people in this group you could be like mediums, or there's something here where you're transforming or transmuting a lot of, like, I'm hearing even like entities or something around spirits. You're a strong leader, and you've done this before, and this is who you need to be. It's like quite a solemn, wise group, very grounded. You know what you're doing. And this comes from like gifts that you've had from many lives where you've done this. You feel like you've done this many lives before. So we do have rabbit fertility. Your creativity is at peak. And past life service. Soul teaching, blessed healer. Soul teaching, spirituality. I don't look at these cards, that's why I kind of think it's cool. You're definitely a healer. That's who you're meant to be. Past life security. I feel like you know, or you have already dedicated your life to in service of other people is what I'm getting. You kind of know what your calling is, and you've done this many lifetimes before, and this is then now what you've come back again to do. We do have like the page of wands, but there is this whole thing about, and the hermit. Yeah, you're very independent. You're very, because you know, like you've done this before, and you're very susceptible to energy as well, is what I'm getting. So you kind of come through with this energy that, because you were doing a lot in the spiritual realm, in the dream time, you're actually, because like I said, you're transmitting a lot of energy. So I feel that you need a lot of alone time to recharge. You kind of best flow on, I feel like you like your solitude. You like to, reflect. You're very, very deep. And we're also hearing quite poetic, like the way you view life is very different from other people, is what I'm getting, because a lot of people don't really understand, is what I'm getting. Like you see life very, very differently. You're very emotional as well, is what I'm getting. That's because you feel things on quite a deep level. But I feel that you also have you do have massive boundaries up in place, because you don't like to let a lot of people through. Because you are always transmuting this energy, and you're just particular on like who you would let into your circle, or who you would I feel like this could come through because you're very particular about who you let in, is because I feel you've perhaps maybe given to people a lot, and then you've kind of learned from that, is what I'm getting. But there's kind of this thing that Spirit is telling me, is like, because you've done this before, and there's this whole thing around self-sacrificing, that Spirit is saying like to remember that you can, who you're meant to be also, is like, this is who you're meant to be, but you're also meant to be here to experience different things, especially with this creativity coming through. So I'm kind of sensing that, like Spirit is saying, to have other endeavors that are igniting your creativity and your passions, because I feel like a lot of this group kind of works a lot in the shadows. Like you work a lot with transmuting a lot of energy. So I don't know if you know that you're doing this, but I feel like you do. This group feels real like deep. You're channeling through a lot of energy too, as well, as what I'm getting. You could have recently went through a transformation, and I'm hearing that, or you're going through a transformation now, and I'm hearing that your creativity is kind of like the gateway to a different portal, like maybe like a different existence or some type of healing. It's going to help transform things. So really connecting to your sacral is coming through. I'm hearing like you kind of feel uncomfortable in this energy, is what I'm getting. Because there's this whole something around like your sacral area. Perhaps maybe you carry I'm kind of getting, maybe this is like where you transmute a lot of energy in your sacral. So this could be through like sexual partners, something around, yeah, like sexual partners or sexual energy that you're needing. Like, I feel like you transmute this energy this way, or there's something here where you're uncomfortable in this area because there's something here around like your sexuality or something that from healing from the past that's coming through. So they're really wanting you to connect to this area, because I feel this will be, so whether in dance or something where you're opening up more to your, you know, like this less creativity. There's something definitely coming through around wombs for some people. But I'm hearing like if you, who you're meant to be as well, because I do feel like you are really creative, but sometimes you can, because you have had past lives where you've helped people a lot before, and you lean quite, sometimes you lean too far into the dark sometimes, and it's kind of like Spirit is saying, they're kind of giving you like a doorway to use this to help transmute the energy and to give you more lightness. Because, yeah, I feel like things can get quite serious sometimes. Yeah, there's kind of like this flip side of the darkness and light, where they're wanting you to, yeah, I hear it's going to help to heal you more, and something you enjoy doing is what I'm getting. Yeah, there's a lot of like, this group is very independent, and I feel like you're always transmuting, like you're always elevating. You go through healings and then you elevate, you go through healings and elevate. You could be doing quite huge work for people, but yeah, this is kind of like, so who you are meant to be is, you are meant to be someone that is, yeah, you're a teacher. That's who you're meant to be. You're a healer, and in whatever sense this is. And I feel that you're also, who you're meant to be is someone who expresses themselves creatively. And just because, you know, you don't have to be doing this as like a job, but you have, what I'm being told is you have an ability to transform energy. You are a healer, even if you're not doing the healing, you know, but you are doing it in some sense of the word. Yeah, because I'm definitely picking up on that. Yeah, and like, who you're meant to be is someone who knows that they don't have to self-sacrifice in this life, and that they can have the joy and the stability that they choose. So I'm going to clarify this card. Okay, what I'm hearing, this High Priestess in reverse, is who you're meant to be. Is they're saying, just because you, like I was saying, like just because you have the ability to do all this other stuff, you're psychic, you know things, and you take this very seriously, that who you're meant to be is like, this isn't the only thing you're meant to be, is what I'm getting. So it's kind of like you can enjoy life, yeah, because you've been, this group is quite intense energy. You've been through and transformed, like, yeah, like the Tower in reverse, you transmute it, is pretty much. But there's this thing where you have the ability to also, who you're meant to be is a creative person who is fulfilling their own needs, is what I'm getting. Because there's just this thing from your past life where you feel like you have to always be helping, always be, it's quite hard for you, but it's just because it's like one of your natural abilities to like do this. Hearing like, something about consciousness, changing consciousness. Interesting. There's this thing here where who you're meant to be is like, who you are meant to be too is like, I feel like as you also feel uncomfortable being in the spotlight as well, is what I'm getting. But deep down, I feel like this is something that would actually be very good for you, you kind of like to maybe be in the background a bit, is what I'm getting, or you're just something about being uncomfortable, being seen. And like I said, there was this whole thing where you felt like you needed to self-sacrifice and kind of like you have to be alone or something where you feel like you're not maybe deserving of having, or just not trusting of having something around like emotional connections is what I'm getting. But also who you're meant to be is someone who is seen, who is creative, who is like, I am getting, that you're meant to be abundant, so that's like this real independent energy, but there's something around more of like around connections and people, because I feel like you don't trust a lot of people is what I'm getting. But you are meant to be seen for sure, and that's who you're meant to be. I feel like it would be difficult and you would be resistant or something where you don't want to be, but I am sensing that this is kind of feels like the lighter. There's two doorways here. This whole thing, like who you're meant to be in the creativity, there's kind of like this doorway to you walking into this and being creative and opening up stuff and healing things, especially, I'm getting around like the sexuality thing. Something here around not trusting people, definitely coming through in this life. Like there's been a lot of maybe like sneaky people in the past or something that like show you. Okay. We do have beautiful. Could be this thing too around like you could be critical too. Maybe that's why you don't want to be seen, but it's like you are beautiful, and maybe you have this thing around like how you look or something when you post, or about being seen is coming through, how you feel about yourself. We do have anger, which is interesting, but that's like you transmuting a lot of stuff. We do have digging deeper, but that's like what you do. Like I was saying, you have this whole thing where you're transmuting like this darkness and you're continuously going deeper. Like that's how you roll. Like you've done this for so many lives, and that's why I said your transformation is helping others to elevate. Yeah, there's something that when you're elevating, and this is getting really like esoteric, but it's like I can just see this energy of like you really something where you're moving, something like you're doing something with energy, and this is helping everyone else to elevate. Like whatever you're doing for yourself, like I feel like this is like on a very global scale of like what you're doing for everyone else. We did chaotic as well, which is kind of like that tower in reverse. It's probably how your energy is, and like that's okay. Spirit is saying I'm hearing. Yeah, and then we have self-worth, which kind of like I was saying, like there's this thing about being deserving and not self-sacrificing. Because if you self-sacrifice, it's saying like, I'm not. Yeah, but your needs and how you feel about yourself is very, very important, and that's who you're meant to be. Standing out in a crowd, meant to be seen, you're meant to be confident, but also you're meant to transform. You're meant to go through the darkness. This is how you roll. You're meant to be chaotic as fuck. Like, that's your vibe. Can't just all be, we're not all like light or good. Like we have that, like these, like the anger, digging deeper, chaotic, that's the darkness, but that's what gives you the elevation of then helping yourself to then come into this balance of the light with the self-worth and feeling beautiful, feeling worthy. We have standing up for yourself, definitely who you're meant to be. We do have you will have the courage to move on. Strong, so you. Expression, which I feel comes through in your creativity. It's who you're meant to be. You're meant to be creative. And you have now I understand people, but that's because you're like the hermit. Like you have the hermit card. You like to be alone. You like to evaluate things, but you're a healer. You're psychic. You see things, and that's how you transform things. But like it's saying, Spirit is saying just because you're psychic and you do all this work, you're also meant to be expressive, creative, having your own things, being nurtured, having self-worth, and not always kind of like just using this energy you know, like in self-sacrificing, even though, you know, you're helping everyone, it's like you can also bring this back in a sense of balance, that you're actually healing and doing this for yourself as well. And I definitely feel like who you're meant to be is also something like you're doing that has like a creative expression, whether this is through like art, poetry, the written word, like making movies, I heard, video content, seminar, something. There's something where you're meant to be doing and you're really meant to be expressing and shining, and who you're meant to be is someone who is in the limelight and seen. And you're meant to be someone who, if you do want, you are deserving of a family, I'm hearing for some people, or you are deserving of happiness and abundance, and that's who you're meant to be. Great, that's all I have for group 4. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.